put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Monday, 16 September 2024, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi, and this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Of course, it's a beautiful Monday morning, and it is always a pleasure coming to you in your homes, whether you're getting ready for work, you're in the garden, you're making a cup of tea, whatever you're doing this morning. We're always so happy to be bringing information to you with things happening in and around the Tobago. And of course, it's the start of a new week, and we do hope that you're off to a good start. We have a good lineup for you this morning, but before we get into all of that, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds. Acting Commissioner of Police Hazel and Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk have been removed from their positions leading the Tobago Division of the TTPS. The changes follow a record high murder toll in Tobago, with 22 murders so far in 2024. The reassignment decision came from the National Security Council, aimed at combating complacency and fostering new leadership. Kirk will be transferred to the Southern Division, while Hazel will take charge of TTPS tactical units, with new leadership expected for Tobago. In the Tobago Division, Crown Point Police and the Tobago Divisional Task Force conducted an exercise on Saturday, issuing 11 fixed penalty notices to motorists for offences such as driving without headlights, seat belts, and using unauthorized lights. Additionally, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service thanked the public for their help in finding a missing 14-year-old girl and a 1-year-old boy. The minors were located by the Child Protection Unit and the Tobago Division officers in Scarborough. Both children are safe, and the Children's Authority has been contacted. The Special Victims Department is continuing its investigations. And finally, the Innovative Democratic Alliance, IDA, criticized the recent assignment of Tobago Division leaders ACP Collis Hazel and Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk to Trinidad, stating that fresh leadership alone will not solve Tobago's crime situation. The IDA emphasized the need to address deeper issues like resource shortages, including manpower, training, and equipment, which have constrained policing efforts. They warn that leadership changes without addressing these deficiencies could set new leaders up for failure. The party also stressed the importance of understanding Tobago's culture for effective policing, arguing that trust and community engagement are crucial. The IDA called for a comprehensive crime-fighting strategy, including investments in technology, training, and community policing, rather than symbolic gestures. Progressive Democratic Patriots leader Watson Duke echoed these concerns, saying the reassignment was premature and urged the government to properly equip local officers. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Of course, I'm here by myself this morning, and of course, I'll take you through the show, bringing you all the information and all the topics that we have to talk about today. But before we get into all of that, of course, I want to say a special good morning to all of you who are viewing us on our live streams, whether you're viewing on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, or on Amplia 102. We say thank you for choosing us and making us your #1 choice for morning show here on the island of Tobago. And of course, a special good morning to our loyal viewers, Miss Pearl Murray Beard, a special good morning to you, Brenda Campbell, Dora Lyons. Good morning to all of you who choose us, whether you're viewing us here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, or the continent of Africa. We say thank you so much for choosing us, and good morning or good whatever time of the day it is where you are. All right, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who celebrate. It is our birthday shout-outs. And on screen this morning and celebrating a birthday, it is Giselle Fraser this morning, celebrating a birthday this morning. And we want to say happy birthday to you, Giselle. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday. On screen, no stranger to the public space, this is Councillor Tashia Grace Boris, Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. She celebrated yesterday, turning 39. Yes, so we want to say happy birthday to you, Councillor Tashia Grace Boris. Happy belated birthday to you, and we do hope that you have a wonderful week as you continue your assignment there as a councillor. Next on screen, we have Ayana Walters. She celebrated yesterday as well. It's a belated birthday to her. Happy birthday to you, Ayana. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful birthday season. And we pray that this new chapter in your life brings beautiful memories for you. Jason Lashley is also celebrating a birthday today, and Jason, we want to say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday season. So happy birthday to you, Jason. Next is Kevin Davidson. Kevin Davidson is also celebrating a birthday today, and Kevin, we want to say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday as well. So happy birthday to you. Giselle Webster is celebrating a birthday today. Giselle, we pray God's blessings upon your life. We hope that as you enter this new chapter and this new season in your life, that there's much celebrations for you as you celebrate your birthday, you create memories, and just have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Up next is Junior Valdez. Junior Valdez is celebrating a birthday today, and Junior, we say happy birthday to you. Coming to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates family, we pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And finally, Maurice Goddard, belated birthday greetings go out to him. I believe his birthday was over the weekend, and we say happy birthday to you, Maurice. We pray God's blessings upon your life. We do hope that you have a wonderful season in this new chapter of your life. We say happy, happy birthday to you. And of course, if we don't have your photo and you're celebrating a birthday, we do celebrate with you as well. And we remind you to give God thanks for life. For no man can give life unto himself except God gives life unto him. And I want to let you viewers know that Tobago Update is your official station for Carnival 2024. As you know, we're heading into the Carnival season here on the island of Tobago. October is the month for Carnival, and you might have been seeing a lot of Carnival discussions happening in the public space. And we want to let you know that Tobago Updates is your official station for Carnival 2024. We'll be bringing you all the events right here on your favorite station, your favorite channel here in Tobago. So please be aware that this is happening in the Tobago space right here on Tobago Updates television. All right, I have a few announcements also about our carnival. You know that there is a meeting upcoming. Let me get this information up for you. Or a Tobago Carnival stakeholders meeting. Yes, attention businesses, residents and churches. Join us as we discuss plans for the upcoming Tobago Carnival festivities and the impact on your community. Business meeting taking place today, Monday 16 September 2024, 5:30 p.m. at the Shore Park Complex. Residents and churches meeting taking place on Tuesday 16 September 2024 at the Shore Park Complex. Your input is invaluable as we prepare for the exciting celebration. So let's make Tobago Carnival 2024 a grand success together. Tobago Carnival, community first, Carnival 2024, Tobago Updates television. All right. So that's happening there in the communities across Tobago. You are invited to that meeting at Shore Park. The meeting this afternoon is for businesses. All businesses are invited to this special meeting. And also on Tuesday, the meeting is for churches, the churches in the communities as well. Meeting there Tuesday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. You might be wondering what's in my cup because it's Monday. So because it's Monday, what's in my cup? What's in my cup is sponsored by LCJ Delights. And this morning I'm drinking ginger and moringa tea. Yes. Sponsored by LCJ Delights. They prepare all types of breakfast packages. Your teas, porridges, flour to make your waffles and pancakes, premium mixed nuts and all the likes. So you can contact them there to get more information and to make your selection of your breakfast package. Who are we speaking with this morning in studio? Well, we start conversations off by speaking with Sergeant Arnold Jones of the TTPS, as we speak about extortion awareness. You need to be aware, especially in this carnival season and in this period where people will be exchanging money for goods. So you want to get that conversation going. We also speak with Roger Smith, president of the React Team 6045, the importance of communication during the carnival season. And we run conversations up by speaking with Daniel Marcel, Finance and Accounts Manager, and Natalie Allen, Processing Manager of TADCO Empowers, an initiative coming out there from TADCO for farmers and agro-processors. So you want to be a part of that conversation, get the information and be in the know. Of course, you will only hear this here on Tobago Updates Television. So we do hope that you stay with us as we continue the program this morning and have the conversations that bring you the information that you need. We have to go for a short break before we begin conversations in studio. And as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and we begin conversations this morning by speaking with Mr. Roger Smith, and he is the president of REACT Team 6045, and REACT is the Radio Emergency Associated Communication Team for your Carnival 2024, as we have those discussions this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adana. Thanks for having me.
Of course, a pleasure to be here. And you know, we're heading into that season of Carnival, and we're talking about all the risks associated with Carnival and all the strategies that need to be implemented to reduce risks. So we're talking about communication, which is very, very important.
Yes.
Just last week, I spoke with the director of TEMA, Mr. Alan Stewart, and I was asking him if we could only have one thing, if we didn't have resources for anything else, and we only had the resources for one thing, and he said communication. And here we are this morning speaking about the said thing, communication. So let's get into the conversation and the role that REACT will be playing in ensuring we have a safe Carnival 2024.
Okay, good morning again to all the viewing public. The name is Roger Smith, as Ms. Adana would have said. All right, REACT's role in communication or managing the communication system for the entire event. We provide or would be providing the manpower on the ground in the form of officers with equipment that would facilitate communication between either the bands, the band leaders, or if necessary, the machinery of the Carnival system. That would be TEMA directly, emergency services, that kind of thing. So let's say you have an incident occurring. That information, either if it was not first-hand seen by the officer or the operator, would be brought to that officer's attention, and then the necessary arrangements or communication would be made to the requisite agency, and that agency will then take further steps.
All right, so this is providing equipment, hardware, and stuff like that to ensure that the information is transmitted to the relevant persons. And you're saying that you're going to also have manpower, of course, to operate these equipment as well to ensure the information gets there. In the event you are not on, let's say you just explained, a police officer, whomever, the person involved is not on site to see what has happened. Is it that you are going to have enough manpower to be at every station or location where an incident is possible for an incident to take place? What is the strategy or the rollout for your operations?
Right. Well, that's a question that's a kind of yes and no kind of question, because you're affected by manpower. And I think by every other agency, manpower is a little bit of an issue. So we are only operating this year with 11 officers or 11 operators. All right. Those operators would be spread out across the entire event, depending on the route. Those operators would be put strategically either in front or with a particular group. And as far as I know, based on discussions had, there should be at least one officer, police officer, with that operator. So if things should go a particular way that is beyond the scope of the radio operator, the police would be there to intervene and necessarily sort that situation out.
Absolutely. And you know, I kind of like the way the strategy is being implemented and the collaboration with all the stakeholders and the agencies who are responsible, because at the end of the day, Carnival is just an event and we still have to live after.
Yes.
And so we have to assess the risk as much as possible and provide that measure of support, which is what you're indicating here that you're doing. But outside of Carnival, I want to talk a little bit about REACT and what REACT does, so that people can have an understanding of this agency or company, as well. I'm not sure what the agency. Okay. So understand the operations and the functions and what is usually done or what can be done outside of events as big as Carnival.
Okay. Basically, we are a communications organization. So way back in the days, you might have remembered probably your uncle or grandfather or somebody talking about REACT. In in those days, you had what you call citizen band radios. They were either in your car or at home in your house, and somebody with a big antenna on top of your house, and those guys would be talking all over the place, right? Not just locally, because we had local communication as in on the island, local communication as between Trinidad and Tobago, and then we had regional communication, that is from Tobago to up the islands. And outside of that, we had what we call a season of DXing, which is distance communication. Reactors also were involved in that. That was a hobby, and it also provided information in times of emergency or disaster. All right. At the club, which is what we have, it's a radio communications club. We do have events that we host for ourselves, internal events. So we have radio highlights, we have fox hunts, and a couple other things that we plan to implement, which I will not discuss here and now, but we do have events that we plan inside, internally. All right. REACT is a national as well as an international body. There's a parent club in Trinidad, which is REACT Trinidad and Tobago. We are part of REACT Trinidad and Tobago. And we will have, on occasion, every Thursday, ClubNet, which allows the Tobago operatives, those that have radios, could facilitate that or access the network, either going to Fort King George. If you don't have a radio, the operator that does have a radio, we will share, of course. That's not a problem. And we are then part of the national network. We also have Zello as a network. REACT has a Zello channel. And we also interact on the international network via Zello.
And when you say radios, right? Because it took me way back to our grandfather days, right?
Yes.
So when you say radio, you're talking about walkie-talkie here. That's what you're talking
no.
about. Okay, so tell me the difference now between walkie-talkie and the correct name for it and the radio.
All right. In the days, 1990s, early 1990s, REACT had, very few people had what you would call walkie-talkies. That was the name that we knew them by then. But in a more advanced age, we have what is called a handy talkie, or HT. This is a representation of such a device, right? Small, portable, but very effective, right? This is my personal device. It is not what would be used on the road that day, right? This requires a special operator's license and that kind of thing to be able to own and use, all right? As a club, the HT version that we would use, you just have to be a member of REACT and an active member, so that you have your REACT ID, your subs are paid up, and then you are free to comfortably walk about. Even with outside of an event, you can use your HT to communicate with other club members.
No, you said something very important there. I never would have thought about this. You must have a license to operate this.
Yeah, well,
so
this particular device.
Okay, so is it that you can't walk into a store and say, well, I came to buy a HT?
No.
Because I just want to have some fun. You know, I want to play with my son, or I want to, you know.
That would be a different tier of equipment, right? Because I understand that there are stores in Trinidad that do sell more modular devices, to use that term loosely. All right. You could walk in there without a license. Those are governed under a different section of the Telecommunications Authority Act. So they make provision for those things for what they call family radio services, or FRS. There's GMRS and those networks. Those are short range coverage systems. So you could buy a pair of those in Trinidad. I'm not too sure what the cost would be. And you and your son or your daughter or your family members could play around the yard, maybe go on a hike and communicate.
Okay.
Right?
So I'm happy that we kind of brought that differentiation, because the fact that we can access this now, it only has short coverage.
Yes.
The one that you will be using on the road, of course, has a wider coverage.
Yes, ma'am.
And clearly you will be identified either by your uniform, your badge or something, so that we wouldn't be tricked or duped by anybody trying to pretend to be, because these are some of the things we have to look out for as well, you know, and I'm happy that that came to light in this conversation. So you're saying that you have 11 men who would be on the ground, ensuring that they're spread across the operations on that day to bring the information to the relevant authorities. In terms of a patron or somebody participating in the event, is it allowed, or should I say accessible? Are you accessible for them to say, listen, something happened over here, I didn't see a police officer, can they come to you and give you the information for you to transmit to the relevant authorities?
Yes, they can. We are accessible by John Public. as well as the relevant services, right? And as for the identification, each REACT team member has at least one of these jerseys that you would see this nice big logo printed that says REACT. So we are not the hardest people to see. It is nice bright orange. We also have high-vis reflector vests. So it will be easy to see, easy enough to see. Each person would be well identified.
Mind you, all the masqueraders will be in bright colors too.
Yes. But we'll have on a lot more clothes.
Okay. Well, good differentiation there. So I'm happy to know that the collaboration is happening, the accessibility is there, the information will be transmitted, and I know there's a command center where all of these things can transmit and ensure that the necessary responses can take place in a timely manner. Is there anything that you'd like to share with us as it relates to your operations and your operations for Carnival 2024?
Not really as in terms of share, but I would like to say we could encourage the masqueraders and general public. Be mindful of your own safety. Don't necessarily rely on the state's machinery for your safety, because you are responsible for yourself first before the state is responsible for you. So if you make unwise decisions, you may very well reap the rewards of your unwise decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it takes a personal responsibility for us as, well, not us, but persons who are participating in the events. Personal responsibility is yours to ensure that you are in a safe space, that you do not rely heavily on the resources, because sometimes, you can kind of make a heavy demand on the resources, depleting the resources, and when it is absolutely necessary, then you're spread so thin that you don't have what it takes to do what you absolutely need to do. So I appreciate this conversation very much, and I appreciate, that heeding to the public there, for them to heed to, what you are speaking about this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Mr. Roger Smith, and he's the president of REACT Tobago, as we speak about preparing for Carnival 2024. And remember, the responsibility is yours to ensure that your space is safe. Failing that, should something happen, you can reach out to the agencies that will be on the road there to protect, to provide the necessary responses as it relates to any incidents happening. And as we're on the topic of Carnival, remember that Tobago Updates is your official station for Carnival 2024. We'll be bringing you all the events here, and of course, Soca Titans live tonight, 7 p.m. right here on Tobago Updates television. So you want to stay tuned with us. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning. And as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point.
Hey, the biggest and sexy.
Now here what's going on. You see this section? It makes me feel to move. You know why? It's called Pina Colada. I like Pina Colada.
Forget just the girl them crave for. They really need you too. When you play with
oh my goodness, and as the name says, it is as creamy as it's sweet.
You never wanna leave, cause the drinks them running for throw. Cause I really feel a vibe every time I start right down and up and like this, man, it's nothing like this. Not you be like you, forget jam, say something and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, you know I never stop.
This is Pina Colada, something nice with a little bit of spice, and of course, not once, but we're gonna do it twice.
Cruise, make the border.
We are on the road with Pina Colada. Boom, boom.
Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. happy whenever you come. So me play very hard, fiesta, fun,
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them not no cash, broke what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
You want the good all. They do good enough, nine. Girl, go the club, can't ride. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me man.
Dream.
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning, and we speak with Dania Marcel Ferguson, Finance and Accounts Manager, and Natalie Allen, Processing Manager, as we speak about TADCO empowers. Some things coming out of TADCO there. We're going to have the information about it this morning as we go through the conversations. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning.
Right, so thank you so much for gracing us this morning. Are we talking about Tobago thriving, TADCO empowering farmers and agro-processors here on the island of Tobago? As we know, of course, this is an industry that we really need to expand on and to ensure we give opportunities to farmers here on the island of Tobago. And we see things coming out of TADCO as it relates to lending that measure of support and creating those opportunities. So let's get into the conversation. What is Tobago Thrive, empowering farmers and agro-processors all about?
Good morning, viewers. Well, TADCO, as the name suggests, is all about agribusiness development. And during conversations, we decided to basically reach out to the farmers, agro-processors, and the small entrepreneurs on the island to basically improve the way in which they do business. So it's about the business side to improve the way in which you do recording, and the food safety side, because without food safety, there's no hope for your business, because it improves customer trust, it improves your ability to trade, and it therefore improves business success.
So is it a series of training that you'll be providing to expose farmers, and as you mentioned, farmers, agro-processors, and small businesses in terms of how to record keep, to ensure that you can see your profits, you can see your losses, you can see how to balance your books? Is it something like that?
Well, no. This part of the part where we do the business acumen, we call it the BEAM program, Business Empowerment Acumen Maximization, right? And we start from the area of where we have the new Procurement Act, and that requires businesses to do things differently. So we are assisting farmers we're starting from the beginning, we are assisting farmers with creating their business email, followed by them registering their businesses, because most recently the Minister of Finance is speaking to new fines as it relates to unregistered businesses. So you know that if you are unregistered, you have a fine of $10,000 and $300 thereafter for every day that you are unregistered and you are performing business. So we are going to, my part of it would be providing that pro bono service, because that service is normally something that you pay for. You pay accountants, you pay, different professionals to do that. So we are providing a pro bono service for them. We are helping them create their business email, register their businesses, and thereafter helping them with opening a business bank account.
And I know you mentioned earlier that it's for small businesses as well. Do they have to be related to agri, or is it any small business? Because you're saying now about the fines that can be incurred if you're operating a business without being registered. So is this open to all businesses, or is it specific to the industry?
It is specific to the industry. So the farmers, the fishermen, the agro-processors, we are reaching out to those persons because the deal for TADCO speaks to development, and we are supposed to be developing the sector, the agricultural sector. So we want persons to, act business. That business. A part of, although it is not specified in our flyer, a part of it is training and answering questions on how they can go about formalizing their business. Bookkeeping, because they both have, we are the subject matter experts. So myself with accounting, and Natalie Allen, she's a food technologist.
And talking now about registering your business and the business acumen, it actually gives you a different type of approach to the way you do your business. Now that you have a business register, you will have that sense of pride in the way you manage your business and operate your business. And I feel that's where you want to go in terms of the development aspect of it, for people to get a grasp of, listen, this is my business, it's registered, I pay taxes, I have all the formalities going on here. So of course they're going to improve the way they roll out their business. And I believe that this is part of your objectives in terms of getting
yes.
Right. And, we really applaud that effort, because we want to have, as we say, development. We want to create this greatest little island on the planet. And so we want to do things in a way that is, well structured. Let's talk now a little bit about the providing training, right, for the farmers, agro-processors, and all those who will be using the services. Tell us a little bit about the part of it as well.
So at the times, the persons that are into agro-processing, it's a job to just get a little extra buck, right? And generally, they don't have the training and it's the food safety. So it's a do agro-processors able to in hygiene covers building things, basic or regulations as it relates to engaging in agro-processing in general, right? So we'll cover HACCP, which is Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, as a starting point. So basically, this is an introduction so that persons are able to wet their feet as it relates to understanding truly what they are involved in, because it can affect public health.
Absolutely amazing stuff here. And how do farmers sign up? Is there a registration form, or is it compulsory for farmers who are registered? How is this program going to roll out to impact farmers here on the island of Tobago?
So basically, you are able to call the office to make your basic. There will be a form after you contact us, right? So basically, there will be. We are not doing it as a large as a large audience, basically. So you will have that one-on-one engagement. So basically, it will be like 10 agro-processors in a room, and we'll deal with them in that manner. And after the fact, there will be an assessment, and the person with the highest score at the end of the assessment will be able to get that good manufacturing practices, the outline of their how to actually engage in their operations as it relates to developing standard operating procedures for the establishment, and basically ensuring that they have good food safety system management within the operation.
So is this on a cycle basis? Because if you're only doing like small audiences at a time, is it a one-off?
It's over a 2 to 3 month period. So within that 2 to 3 months, there will be different groups, and then at the end there would be an assessment. And the person with the highest score, as it relates to the food safety aspect, would be able to have that visit to their establishment to ensure and to basically give them like a consultation, basically to basically give them points to develop their space. This program would also have case studies. So even if you are not the winner, at the end, based on the case studies, you will be able to go back to your establishment and basically put to practice what you would have learned.
So it sounds as if it's very hands-on.
Yes, it is.
In terms of engaging the farmers and agro-processors in the actual practices and teaching them exactly, because you're talking about things like sanitation, you're talking about laws and regulations and ensuring that they understand what is required. You know, sometimes, as you rightfully said, some people just do things as a side hustle, not just in farming and agro-processing. In general, you just pick up a hobby and you say, that's my side hustle. But understanding now the regulations, the things that guide them, the principles that will actually cause them to be successful in the, knowing the regulations, and of course with registering and having a structure for their business is what will help them to be successful, or to see more success, of course, and to stand out among the rest. And as you said, there's an assessment after, so that people will know where they are and they would know how much more training they need or what areas they need to improve on as they continue along with the agro processing. And when is this first cycle starting for this this training?
Well, based on the buy-in, we will be able to start. Our intention is to start next Monday.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is beginning September 23rd here in Tobago. TADCO is providing this opportunity for all farmers and agro-processors. It is called Tobago Thrive, empowering farmers and agro-processors. And of course, you will learn the basics in your business empowerment and acumen maximization, assistance with creating an account for your company registration online, and all of these things, of course, will be available to you, as well as food safety system management module being taught there in this the rollout of this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to take a short break before we come back with conversation. As we go for a break, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I can't live without you, I can't be without you for too long. Cause when I'm around you, I feel like the heavens is coming down. I feel it in my soul every time we on the road, is a miracle.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'd hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kambi, and it's just about 7:45 a.m. So if you're getting to work for 8 o'clock and you have to drop the children off to school, you should be already on the road or even close to your office. If not, you might be late. However, remember to be safe on our nation's roads. All right, we continue conversation this morning as we speak with Daniel Marcel Ferguson, Finance and Accounts Manager, and Natalie Allen, Processing Manager of TADCO, as we speak about the empowerment initiative that is being provided by the TADCO in support of farmers, agro-processors, and small businesses here on the island of Tobago. We were talking about, the training program that they're gonna have for farmers, and now we want to head back a little bit into the business aspect of it. And I want to talk a little bit about the fact that you are lending that measure of support to assist farmers and agro-processors to register their business. Yes, we know that is a free service. I have seen ads where people say, you want to register your business, this is the fee, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but you're helping them to register the business. However, there are some fees that must be paid. So let's talk about those fees and why they must be paid.
Okay, so at the Ministry of Legal Affairs, the process for registering a business requires a name search. The reason why you do a name search is because you don't want to have a business name that is very similar and can be mistaken for another business. So there's a name search which costs $20. And then once your name is approved, then you have to pay for your business certificate. Now, this business certificate is a very important document that you should keep, in a very safe area, because you'll have to use it to basically conduct business. If you are going on official business, if you are going to the bank, and so on and so forth, they may need to know that you are a registered business, right? So these fees would be borne by the farmer or agro-processor who is interested in having their business registered. It will not be borne by TADCO, unfortunately. I wish we could do more, right? But we are providing a pro bono service, and otherwise, this service would be, may cost hundreds of dollars, right? So after we do the registration aspect, it would be for the business bank account, which will require you to have a cash flow statement, a 3-year cash flow statement, and so on. So we'll assist you with every single aspect up until the end, and that is having a business bank account.
And you see, the thing is, as you mentioned, you wish you could do more. Sometimes registering a business might sound simple to some, but for some people it's really frustrating having to get all the documents and knowing what they need to do and running here, running there, and getting everything together. So it is a good service that you're providing in terms of helping and supporting them to get to that stage, at least up to a business bank account. And a lot of people run their businesses and they don't have a business bank account. Why is it important that you should have a specific account for your business?
Okay, well, that is important for a number of reasons. First and foremost, the Bankers Association, they frown upon commingling of funds, meaning that you have your business funds and your personal funds together, and you spend it along with your personal funds for your home or whatsoever. Right? It's also important as it relates to record keeping, right? And also taxation purposes. You want to keep your business funds separate, because, when you're making money in your business, you want to reinvest, right? And sometimes if you commingle those funds, you may not know, where you're at and where you can improve your business, where you can invest, where you could, put away or tuck away your profits. So it is important to have your funds separately so that, it would just not make a mess of things.
That's right. That's right. And you know, with the support that you provide in terms of registering the business, ensuring that there's a business banking account, what are some of the benefits outside of identifying your business income separate from your personal income and being able to invest and stuff like that? What are some of the other benefits that you can attain by doing the registry, doing the correct thing, right? What are some of the benefits to the farmer or whomever?
But I would say for loans and so on, like say for instance, if you go to a commercial bank, they would like to see that, say for instance, if you're going for a business loan, you want to purchase a vehicle, you want to purchase equipment, they want to see money flowing through your account and know that, you know, you have the ability to repay this loan, right? They will see consistency and also discipline, right? You may not think that, you know, they are looking for somebody who is disciplined and all the way together. However, discipline is a part of it, because if you have an end goal, which is investing in equipment, investing in your business, then, you know, that discipline needs to be there.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I want to commend TADCO for this initiative because, I mean, many times we say that we need help and we need support. And I'm happy that you're doing this for the farmers and agro-processors. And I hope all of you out there who are hearing that this is accessible to you, just call in at TADCO, get the information and register. There'll be multiple cycles once you sign up and there's enough people, and the space is there for you to access the services that are available. So let us take advantage of this situation and ensure that we benefit from what is being delivered to us through TADCO there. I think I want to talk about other programs and initiatives that you might have going on at TADCO simultaneously with what is happening in terms of this measure of support, this initiative that you want to roll out. I think it's from next week, Monday, right? The 23rd. What else is going on in TADCO right now?
Well, TADCO is still involved in our regular business activities, right? And that is, you know, ICE, commercial rental, wholesale retail. We have the food hub. There is a calendar of events for the food hub. We have the
5%.
The
5%.
Oh, yeah, we have 5% discount for farmers. Once you purchase feed at TADCO's compound, you get 5% off once you present your farmer's badge or ID, right? We are still having our field officers go out to farmers, visit them, assist them with the quality aspect, give them some guidance and so on.
Absolutely amazing stuff. And in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers this morning as it relates to the empowerment? Oh, one thing we didn't talk about was the contact information. How can farmers and agro-processors contact you to get the information they need to register and to be a part of the training?
So it's 639-4017, extension 1000 or 1023.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share in terms of encouraging the farmers and agro-processors to come out?
Right. So I in terms of the BEAM program, which is the business acumen, business empowerment and acumen maximization, one of our lucky farmers or agro-processors or fishermen will receive a free business plan. So we are continuing our pro bono exercise, and one person will have a business plan that they could take to maybe a financial institution if they want to invest in, or they want to get a grant or a loan to invest in their business.
Absolutely. And
okay, I would like to say to the agro-processors and the small entrepreneurs to come out and be a part of an initiative that will most definitely improve your status in this space as it relates to building customer trust, and be able to improve your status as it relates to improving your ability to trade internationally.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing stuff coming out there from TADCO. Of course, if you want to be a part of it, just contact them and they will give you the information as to how you can register and benefit from what is coming out there in terms of the empowerment for farmers, agro-processors and small businesses here on the island of Tobago. We've been speaking with Daniel Marcel Ferguson, Finance and Accounts Manager, and Natalie Allen, Processing Manager of TADCO, as we speak about TADCO empowering here on the island of Tobago. We have to go for a short break before we return. Stay with us. And as you stay with us, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it. Welcome to my kitchen, guys. You have to stop it again. That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point security, we have an access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get that?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun, and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. And before we go, of course, we must remind you that Tobago Updates is your official station for Carnival 2024. In fact, tonight we will be carrying Soca Titans live from 7 p.m. right here on Tobago Updates Television. So you want to stay tuned for that as it comes to you. Also, we must remind you that there are going to be stakeholders meetings taking place from this afternoon at the Shore Park Complex. This afternoon, a business meeting takes place from 5:30 p.m. Remember that, of course, businesses, residents, and churches, we have to discuss the plans for the upcoming Tobago Carnival festivities and the impact it has on communities where you might be. So the business meeting takes place this afternoon, Monday, 16th September 2024, 5:30 p.m. at the Shore Park Complex. So if you own a business here on the island of Tobago, you might want to be a part of this meeting. And then on Tuesday, residents and churches, your meeting takes place 5:30 p.m. as well at the Shore Park Complex, and that is tomorrow Tuesday, 17th September, 5:30 p.m. Your input is invaluable as we prepare for this exciting celebration. Let's make Tobago Carnival a grand success together. Tobago Carnival, Community First, Carnival 2024, Tobago Updates Television. This is where we end the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, and as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
is Makeda Bain. I am from Trinidad and Tobago and I am 12 years old.
Makeda is the only person from the English-speaking Caribbean who have qualified for this tournament in Mexico twice. She's the only one who have won 7 international singles and doubles titles in this area. So she's a real outstanding athlete. It was really a pleasure working with them, and I must compliment Coach Sheldon, who have been with me. There's a little joke with me. I gave Coach Sheldon his first racket. And I'm very proud. And the work he has put in with Makeda is tremendous. Not just on court, it's the discipline.
I'm a proud father, coach, to see somebody right there from Tobago, from Crusoe Isle Tennis Club, could be doing so well. So really, really feeling proud. I've been coaching here for about 30 years. So she's been coming here since she won 2 ever since to now. Besides me, it have Coach Williams, Coach Larry, it also have Coach Dunstan, also it have parents, Mrs. Sandy, people who really come out and support. Sometimes when we don't have the funds to go in tournament, they always help, who will donate a racket or 2 rackets. So it's really like the whole community in Tobago really support Makeda for she to meet this far.
You know, I know that as a national players, they have been claimed nationally and so on. But I want folks to remember that they come from Shore Park, right here in Tobago, and we are quite proud of the history of work and the body of work that Coach Williams has done over the years, and we're still going.
I hope when I reach Masters, I could meet in the top 5 places.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
We love Tobago Carnival!
Tobago! It's such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival, we're right here. We're not leaving till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, it's rhythm, steel and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, pan in paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real titans of soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na, 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na, 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 na. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and you know whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Acting Commissioner of Police Collis Hazel and Senior Superintendent Rodhill Cook have been removed from their positions leading the Tobago Division of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. The changes follows a record high murder toll in Tobago, with 22 murders so far in 2024. The reassignment decision came from the National Security Council, aimed at combating complacency and fostering new leadership. Cook will be transferred to the Southern Division, while Hazel will be in charge of the TTPS's tactical unit, with new leadership expected for Tobago. Additionally, the Tobago Division, Crown Point Police, and the Tobago Divisional Task Force conducted an exercise on Saturday, issuing 11 fixed penalty notices to motorists for offences such as driving without headlights, seatbelts, and using unauthorized lights. Additionally, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service thanked the public for their help in finding a missing 14-year-old girl and a 1-year-old boy. The minors were located by the Child Protective Unit of the Tobago Division in Scarborough. Both children were safe, and the Children's Authority have been contacted. The Special Victims Department is continuing their investigation. And finally, the Innovative Democratic Alliance, IDA, criticized the recent reassignment of the Tobago Division leaders, ACP Collis Hazel and Senior Superintendent Rodhill Cook, to Trinidad, stating that fresh leadership alone will not solve Tobago's crime problem. The IDA emphasized the need to address deeper issues with resource shortages, including manpower, training, and equipment, which have constrained police efforts in Tobago. They warned that leadership changes without addressing these deficiencies could set new leadership up for failure. The party also stressed the importance of understanding Tobago's culture and for effective policing, arguing that trust and community engagement are critical. The IDA called for a comprehensive crime-fighting strategy, including policing rather than symbolic gestures. Progressive Democratic Patriots leader Watson Duke echoed these concerns, saying that the reassignment was premature and urged the government to properly equip local officers. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning we have a very interesting conversation on our hands. But before we get into our interesting conversation this morning, let's have a break. See you soon.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago. In Tobago.
Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning we're talking more about politics and what's happening here in Tobago. This morning I have the pleasure and the privilege of sitting in studio with Mr. Max James. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you.
It's always a pleasure to have these discussions. So you have been paying attention to the political scene here in Tobago, and you've had a number of comments in the past, but of recently you made a statement that said democracy in Tobago is in peril. Explain that to us. Why do you say that?
Well, it's a theme that we will have to develop to its fullest meaning and proportions. And it has become a very topical issue, having regard to the fact Tobago's history since the reformation or the re-establishment of the Tobago House of Assembly. From since that time, and the history is there for all to see, but it is becoming more and more excruciatingly painful under this particular administration because of the troubles they have seen. But for the student outside there, even the elementary school student, I want to urge them to go back and read the history of Tobago's democratic development since 1976, 1977. It's interesting to note that even from that time, although the motion for Tobago's self-development or Tobago's self-determination was moved by Ian Robinson / Winston Murray, the PNM even at that stage felt that they should take the glory and the fame for it, that haven't done anything, but having to take the fame and the glory from since then and said that it was Kamaludin. All they did was to rewrite the motion in the House because at the end of the day, it's the government that has to carry the motion, even though raised by an opposition member of the House. So they wanted to take credit for it. And we have a long history of interference. Guns in Kingsby, I believe in Robinson would try to interfere with his freedom. We've had, and anyone can check it, as I said. We have, look at my notes here. We have the Carlos John incident where they tried to come to Tobago, usurping the functions of the assembly to come here and pave roads. We have Eric Williams saying Tobago will eat grass after he lost the 2 Tobago seats. We had Patrick Manning. We had underfunding of Tobago. We had under Orville London 16 years where the needle did not move in terms of having a better legal framework for self-determination here in Tobago. We have, as I said, 16 years of PNM rule and nothing has moved. We have understaffing of the various divisions of the assembly. Since in my time when I was a secretary, in those days it was under the UNC. However, it's still a Trinidad-centric approach to how Tobago should prosecute its own affairs. So you had under Morgan Job and Basio Pandey and Kamla Prasad Bisesa, all of them, they took an excruciatingly long time to approve the staffing requirements of Tobago. And that was on that basis and for that reason that we had that significant employment of officers and contract in the assembly, because the staffing needs of Tobago weren't seen as important. Remember, we just had an act passed 1996 and it required new divisions, and of course more divisions meant more staffing, and preferably under the DPA or the Service Commission. All right. Of particular importance is what has happened since I think last week or 2 weeks ago, where you had the home of a sitting secretary being raided on what the public is beginning to realize very flimsy or for no reason. So when you add it all up, where you see representatives of the people, our homes are raided, they are being belittled, or there's a significant attempt to belittle them from the Chief Secretary down, his wife, his family, the Deputy Chief Secretary,
other secretaries, assistant secretaries, even the employees of the Tobago House Assembly, you see it's an assault on Tobago in the management of its affairs. So that when those things happen, it affects our representatives from carrying out their work democratically affected, and they're stultifying their ability to work on behalf of the people of Tobago. Hence, I would have made a statement that democracy in Tobago is in peril.
Right, and even the situation that took place with the sitting assemblyman in regards to the licensing officers coming and execute a search warrant at his home, along with officers from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. What do you think this says for the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago? Specifically when the licensing office is supposed to be under the remit of this assemblyman's
remit
division.
And let me speak to that quickly. I listened to Mr. Ansel Dennis, former Chief Secretary, and it is the illogic, or to use a phrase from one of my brothers, the careless logic, when he says publicly that we are relying here in Tobago on a few lines under the 5th schedule to determine how Tobago should run its business. And the few lines as he's referring to is where it says licensing is a matter under the 5th schedule for which Tobago is responsible. It amazes me of that, let me repeat it for emphasis, of the careless logic of Mr. Ansel Dennis, a former Chief Secretary, where he can say, or he can berate the fact that the few lines that he's referring to that gives us the power of to prosecute licensing operations and matters in Tobago, it is the same thing he relied on. But you see, it's a P&M kind of thinking where even though it's in place in the legislation, he, succeeding from Orville, London, gave back a lot of the responsibilities to Trinidad, to the central government, as we see, in almost every arena, every area of our responsibilities. A minister will now have to approve town country planning, licensing, some matters of finance, and the list goes on, where they have not seen the importance of developing Tobago's democracy, where they ceded back the responsibility, for which a few lines Ansel Dennis is talking about, to Trinidad, or back to the Prime Minister and back to cabinet ministers. And they will have to answer, because those are the facts, why they did not prosecute Tobago's democracy in the way that they should.
How does statements like this one made by the former Chief Secretary Ansel Dennis, how does it affect Tobago's thrust towards autonomy?
Well, if you don't recognize what you have, if you don't recognize the power and authority that you have, and you reduce it to saying publicly that there's only a few lines there, and ostensibly those few lines don't mean anything, because the P&M is on record from since the days of Orville, London, through Ansel Dennis, to Kelvin Charles, that Tobago's authority is of little consequence. Now, this former Chief Secretary, he almost on a daily basis attacks the Secretary of Works, somebody who the record has shown to be a stellar performer. Perhaps when they wake up in the morning and they hear his name, they are literally weak at the knees and are afraid because of the performance. This very person, leader of the P&M in Tobago, is on public record of saying, when he went into the assembly, he said, quote, "I didn't come into the assembly to be poor." He said so. It's on Hansard. I didn't come in the assembly to be poor. In other words, leaving his job in FCB, where he once worked, coming into the assembly, he had no desire to be a poor man. So I want him. He has been on a daily record accusing Trevor James of being corrupt. I want to put Ansel Dennis to the challenge, to the test. Is he willing to take an FBI supervised lie detector, assuming it was possible? I want Ansel Dennis to submit himself to an FBI-approved lie detector, and they will ask him all the pertinent questions. And then I will know that he's not a poor man.
Do you think under the leadership of Ansel Dennis, the Tobago PNM is interested in autonomy?
Repeat, sorry?
Do you think under the leadership of Ansel Dennis that the Tobago Council of the PNM is interested in Tobago's autonomy?
If they were interested, he would have gotten Mrs. Shamfa Kojo. Forgive me, Miss Kojo, I don't know her married name.
Lewis.
Would have had Ina Webster Roy, and all of them, to ensure that the Prime Minister, who ultimately the power to move this thing along resides, and say, listen, the bill that you have stalled in the Parliament is not what we want, and we are going to support for stronger legislation that gives Tobago true self-determination. And they have all failed, and they're playing politics with Tobago's future, Tobago's democratic development, because a lot of the matters for which ministers still come across here to do, particularly town country planning. We have plans from Tobagonians who are damned at the coastline, so to speak, because somebody in Trinidad will not approve it. When we were power under the leadership of Future Charles deceased, God bless his soul, town country, we didn't, and I want to urge Mr. Augustine to do the same. We didn't approach Trinidad as if we didn't know that it was a matter under the 5th schedule. We put in place a town planner. We approved plans right here without reference to anybody in Trinidad. And I think it's a golden opportunity for him to do so, and to do so with a greater degree of expedition. I think that even the issue of licensing, I heard Mr. Kelvin Morris on TV6 this morning, and where he says that people must be surprised. You don't have to surprise anybody in Tobago in terms of traffic violations or anything, because you could have simply dealt with that in a different way. So he's relying on the element of surprise, and it's a very misplaced logic again. The fact of the matter is that if it is that licensing, as it is, a matter under the 5th schedule, for 16 years, plus 1 year or 2 years of Ansel Dennis, thereabout, they had the duty and the authority to put the staffing arrangement in place for the division of licensing. Let me repeat that. It is a matter under the 5th schedule. So if you don't have enough licensing officers, you employ more, or you put them on contract and you have a conversation with the transport commissioner.
You think that is something that can be done by the current secretary?
Well, I think if he hasn't woken up, this should wake him up, in the sense that he and the administrator must recognize that it is their role and their responsibility, and the chief secretary has to give the okay. So I think it's a golden opportunity now to ensure that the licensing division is fully staffed, and they should not wait on any transport commissioner. It has not worked. So maybe they will wait on the transport commissioner. And I'm saying that it is in their remit. The law says so. Let me explain that even better. Act number 8, I think, and 79 of 1988, I think I got the year correct, says, and changing the definition of a public officer and giving it a new definition, one in the service of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, and the other under the Tobago House of Assembly. So what that means, the Tobago House of Assembly has its own public service. Gone should be the days where they are now under Orville, they are now trying to make it one public service. But with the advent of Act number 40, it gave Tobago its own public service. So I see over the years, they are sending persons to be going to Trinidad, acting as deputy permanent secretaries and all of that, when we could develop the systems here for ourselves, because people have this idea that going to Trinidad is better and you have more opportunity, not understanding that you can develop the systems here for ourselves. our own public service. If we recognize that, we would not have white shirts coming to Tobago because we would have been fully staffed. So if they understand, and I want to urge the Chief Secretary again, if Chief Secretary, you have to understand that the division belongs to you and you must staff the division. If you staff the division, putting in place your own white shirts here, then you won't have any white shirts coming from Trinidad. And you don't have to surprise anybody because routinely they'll be doing the inspections on a daily basis. So nobody, according to Kelvin Morris, you have to surprise somebody in the road because we'd have been fully staffed or having our own white shirts here, still operating under the rules that the Transport Commissioner ultimately has responsibility. But removing that gradually, where we put in place again, ad nauseum, our own white shirts, our own systems here as the law mandates us to do.
Understood. We're going to take a quick break right here and we're going to be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong.
Like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me be very hard, fiesta, fun,
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them not enough cash, broke where you have, where you know about.
It's too early for that.
You want the good all. They do but then enough 99. Girl, go the club, can't ride. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on me man.
Dream.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today. Don't tell me about work I out on the road today.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. We continue our conversations on all things happening in the political arena right here in Tobago, as I am in studio chatting with Mr. Max James. Good morning and welcome back.
Yes.
So before we took off for the break, you were talking about licensing being under the remit of the THA, in addition to a number of other areas such as tongue and country planning, and that there are moves that need to be made by this administration to really take control over those elements. What do you recommend should be the next steps going forward for this administration in really, taking control of those things that are under their remit?
So let me develop on that just a little bit more. When I was the cooperative secretary, I was cooperatives, labor cooperatives and consumer affairs. But let's deal more specifically with cooperatives. So let me show them how it can be done. The law gave me as a secretary responsibility for cooperative development. But you had a commission of cooperatives in Trinidad. I simply called him. I said, listen, let's have a conversation. And I told him bluntly, I will be having my own stamp, and I'll be having a director of cooperative development. And I expect you to support this measure, because there are some other legal issues that would vested issues that you will have to deal with. But I expect your full cooperation. He understood. And he said, okay, Mr. James. I directed my administrator to have a own stamp. I put in place a whole new division for cooperative development to do the research and all those things that pertain to corporate development. And we will talk from time to time directly or through the administrator, because the law says that cooperatives is a matter for the fifth schedule. If you want to take me to court, fine, I'll just pull the law on you. And if you want to go, and we go to the Privy Council. But you have to show the people, and I urge the Chief Secretary again to understand that, and his team. It is just as how there's a Secretary of Health, but you have a health minister, and you have all the health regulations and all the health acts and laws and all of that. The same thing goes for almost every other area. You have a concurring or a parallel minister in Trinidad with the same laws of this country. But town and country goes to our economic development. It speaks to our economic development. And if we don't fix that, it means somebody in Trinidad will tell us how to develop our land resources here in Tobago and affect people from investing, building their houses the way they want, agricultural land development, industrial land development, commercial land development, as the case may be. Where should build? All those things we took under wing immediately. And there was nothing Trinidad could have done. Nothing. We put in place a land planner, and she approved the plans. Those plans went from that office to the planning division. I think it was headed by Mr. Elton Bob at the time, Dr. Elton Bob at the time. And we just moved to do those things. So when people in those days heard the names of deceased Carl Dick and Cecil Carruth and Hochoy Charles and Max James, they knew that we were coming. We were given a mandate from the people to fix that. And we can't afford to let time run out and those things aren't fixed.
I'm glad that you
Orville
brought
took 16
up the,
years and he never did anything about it. Until then, it's a year and a half, nothing done about it. Kelvin Charles, what is going on?
I'm glad that you brought up the idea of time, because this administration has almost, let's just say, a year and a couple months in office. Do you think this is the right time for such a move? And do you think it's possible to do this before the next election?
The town country planner can be done now. The licensing officers might be a slightly different challenge, but it also can be done with the proper conversations. Now, if you tell the Prime Minister at meetings, if he ever agrees to meet, or you go through a chief administrator here who has powers to employ people temporarily, I think up to 6 months, and then it goes beyond 6 months, then other measures have to. But you want to have a conversation to create the positions if they don't exist. So you have to create them. PNM didn't do it. So you have a golden opportunity now to do it. So we're going to create the positions, either public service positions or on contract. Whatever is going to work, let us begin the process. If the PNM disapproves of it or doesn't support it, we tell the people, here, these are the things that we want to do. And the Prime Minister, the Transport Commissioner, the Minister of Works and Transport in Trinidad, they are preventing us from proceeding and from developing our democracy and our systems here in Tobago. So I don't see how they're going to win that political battle, but you have to start the process and go to the people and say, these are the things that we are doing. These are our efforts to prevent the white shirts from coming to Tobago.
I remember in a previous conversation that you and I had, you indicated that you were going to launch a union for industrial relations here in Tobago. How has that been going, and is that still on the table for you?
It's still on the table. It might happen, most likely happen this year. Dr. Winston Murray asked me to do it. I have his certificate. It's called the Tobago, it's Tobago Labour Party, I think it is. Labour Union, something like that. I haven't looked at it recently. But I think it is important, if you remember, or you might have heard over the weekend, I think it is former president of the Industrial Court, Deborah Felix, would have come out with a new book, I think 513 pages, You're Fired. The idea is that it seems to me that all administrations, all are anti-worker in some form or fashion. They are not recognizing that the workforce is your greatest resource. And there are some persons in all administrations who are bent on either taking revenge because a former administration did that to them. You are seeing evidence where the laws of this country, people speak things of which they don't know, and they have lawyers to back them up because those lawyers want money and they wouldn't tell them the truth. So you've seen evidence where workers are disenfranchised of their rights. And I think that this administration has a responsibility to ensure that workers' rights are in fact supported and defended. This chief secretary said on one of his platforms, pre-office, a worker should not have to fight for something he or she is entitled to. And therefore, that principle is a principle I have learned since I was a trade union officer. So it's going to come because I think workers generally in Trinidad and Tobago need better representation. They need to have their rights defended according to the law and according to the rules and regulations that govern their contract of employment. When I say contract of employment, I don't mean contract workers. Workers who are in the public service or under the commission, they're all on contract too. It's a different contract, but they're all on contract. Just as you have persons who are brought in on what you call contract employment. It's a very loose term, and a lot of people don't understand it. So contract officers said, well, they're nothing, we're not going to give them instructions, or they can't give me any instructions. They're all in the chain of command, and there's something called the test of an employee, or it's called the control test, or the organizational test. And once the answers in respect of questions that pertain to people's employment, the answer is yes. In other words, is this person in the chain of command? The answer is yes. Assuming you're my employer, do you pay both of us? The answer is yes. Do you give daily instructions that both of us must follow? The answer is yes. Can you discipline all of us? The answer is yes. The terms and conditions of employment, are they determined by the employer? The answer is yes. So then you have an employee. So that's the control test. The organization test is where the questions will be asked. Are you part of this organization? Are you subject to the rules and dictates and organizational decisions of the organization? Sorry. And if the answer is yes, then you will be deemed to have passed the organization test. So both contract officers and public officers, there's very little difference between them. It's just that one has a finite term of office, so to speak, and the other until they're 60 or 65, as the case may be. So they're all employees. So contract officers can give public officers instruction and vice versa. And it's not to be confused. And there's this continuing nonsense where you hear even secretaries saying it, that, well, the contract came to an end and the law says nonsense. There are several persons in the assembly who want matters like that. If you are not going to renew my contract, you have to give me significant notice before. And you must have a reason not to renew the contract. The only reason, there are two reasons: redundancy, or you're closing down an entire unit, or the employee in his former term of employment would have done things that went to the root of his contract. So the governments all over the time, all over the place, have not practiced good performance management. So if they practice good performance management and have a solid and sound appraisal system, you will know that is what protects the employer and protects the employee. And if an employee has a good performance appraisal result or test, then you cannot or not to renew the person's contract. And therefore you have to have, the secretaries must know that and accept that regardless of what they think. Supervisors must understand that regardless of what they think. They must make the necessary recommendations and have the proper performance appraisals in place under a proper human resource management system and a proper human succession system. Those are critical functions of any employer, including the Tobago House of Assembly and, as we say, central government. Those things must be practiced so that you reduce the incidence of where workers feel that they are not treated properly. Remember, at the end of the day, they have to vote for you, and that you have to think about that. But you want industrial peace, because with industrial peace, let me make that this point, with industrial peace in the workplace, you have greater productivity, and your democracy is protected because it's a democratic system. But under a democratic system, we have these systems of performance management and performance appraisals and all the rest of those nice things. Those things are the underpinnings of our democracy. And if those things don't function well and people are grieved, then your democracy is in peril.
Understood. We're going to take a quick break here and we're going to continue our conversation right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point security, we have access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get that?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time.
This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning, as we wrap up our conversation, we are touching a bit on crime and the transfer of the two most senior police officers here in Tobago. We have the Acting Commissioner of Police, Collis Hazel, as well as Senior Superintendent Roadhill Kirk, and they have both been transferred to Trinidad. Just tying it back into that whole situation that took place with the licensing officers coming to Tobago, how do you think that this, reflects the type of relationship that Tobago has with Trinidad, where officers are pulled out because of quote-unquote non-performance and the high rates of crime and criminality on the island, when the rates of criminality in Trinidad and Tobago on a whole, specifically Trinidad, has not reduced at all when we compare 2023 to 2024?
Before I answer you, let me just correct something I said. Until Dennis worked at Republic Bank and not FCB. So okay. I just got that correction from a former banker. Anyhow, so that so Republic Bank, all right. And in terms of the officers from Trinidad, the licensing officers, again to repeat, to really make that point very pellucid, the chief administrator, after consultations with, of course, the chief secretary, and the other consultations they'll make with the other the counterparts in Trinidad, can determine the levels of licensing officers we need in Tobago. A lot of time we see about a dozen of them. So we could clearly say we want a dozen more officers. What is the route to that? It can be through the Public Service Commission, or it can be on contract, perhaps, and we deal with those things, but the post can be created. There might be an existing organizational chart. We need to look into that. But whatever it takes, we need to have the requisite levels of licensing officers in Tobago, homegrown licensing officers preferably, because it speaks to the knowledge of our people and our culture. So to go directly to the question of whether officers from Tobago should be transferred, I think it's a misplaced logic that you're going to transfer your officers, your homegrown officers. Whether you like them or not is not the issue. I know both officers well enough. Not everything that Mr. Hazy did I liked. Not everything Mr. Cook did I liked. What are you going to say to the officers in Grenada? Grenada is in a few square miles larger than Tobago, Barbados as well. Tobago is larger than St. Kitts Nevis. Tobago is larger than Antigua, or thereabouts, the same size. Are you going to transfer your officers out? Some people say, well, Tobago and Trinidad is one country. But everybody in Antigua knows each other, not so. And for the most part in Grenada and Barbados, arguably too. So what are you going to say? Bring officers from England? Something speaks to that kind of logic. It's absolutely logical to be saying I will transfer officers to Tobago because they're not performing. There are systems to do that. There are measurable systems to deal with people's performance. So transferring it doesn't transfer. You're transferring and bringing another problem. Who says that the officers from Trinidad are better than Mr. Hayes or Mr. Cook?
But then the question arises, are Tobago officers being transferred to Trinidad to assist with the crime fighting situation when it is deemed that those that are at the head of the police service in Trinidad are not performing. Is the same measure of influence.
There are a lot
there.
of corrupt officers in Tobago and in Trinidad. The police commissioner has to put systems in place to deal with those things. The Minister of National Security has to put systems in place to deal with those things with the corrupt cops. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And therein lies the problem. The people who we claim are at the top of the economic ladder in Trinidad and Tobago, how the drugs come into the country, how the guns come into the country. What are the measures? Have they taken any significant measures to protect our southern and northwestern border between Venezuela and Trinidad? Why aren't our Coast Guard boats not functioning? You transfer Kirk for that or Hazel for that? Doesn't make sense. We should be happy to have them here because they should know the turf. To say that if you transfer them and you bring fresh people, if we take the argument and extrapolate the argument, do we know the officers are coming? We know their track record. Do we know that they aren't corrupt? If they aren't corrupt or if they're, whatever it's the case with them, we might even bring somebody corrupt to Tobago or more corrupt to Tobago. We don't
had
know.
The leader of the IDA coming out and saying that fresh leadership alone would not solve Tobago's crime problem, which is a multi-layered challenge that we're facing. Do you agree with the statement?
Of course I agree with this statement. As I have always argued, our social services ministry and division is perhaps the most important division or ministry in the country. It speaks of family development or family values or societal values. And if we begin to embed or re-embed that into our students, into our homes, everybody wants a kickback. Everybody wants a gun. Everybody wants to steal. And if I see you stealing and I talk about it, then I'm now persona non grata. It has to do with societal values. And if we fix the social values and the family values, we're going to have less and lesser crime in the country. Somebody will kill you for $5,000 or for $2,000 and without batting an eye. Since when that can be so? So we have to fix the psychology, and you could only fix the psychology by having perhaps the church playing a greater role in people's development. But I think you're not going to solve it if you don't fix the home. What do we teach our children? What did mother say when somebody got killed? And he was a good boy. I never know that man was in thing. I didn't know she was in thing. And so it going. When you see people with all these gold chains and all these, or so-called gold chains and it's what they call the bling, where they get the money from? They're not working. So we need to have politicians in Trinidad and Tobago submit themselves to lie detector tests.
All right.
I'm going back to that. And I want, because until Dennis has the penchant for saying people are corrupt, I want him, as we close the show, I want him to submit himself to a lie detector test and hear, see, and not only him, a lot of the people in the PNM that talk this nonsense about who is corrupt in this present administration, let them take a lie and they will know the real sources of income and revenue and all of that, where they get their riches from, the nice vehicles that they used to hide in the garage and they can't bring it out and so on. All those and the houses and land that they have, let them submit themselves to a lie detector test and we'll know who is who. And they'll stop spewing the nonsense that they're spewing regarding this administration.
All right. Thank you so much, Max James, for coming in this morning and giving us your perspectives on how this administration can go about taking charge of matters that are under the 5th schedule. Thank you so much. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussion. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments. And thank you for continuing to assist us in having a vibrant discussion. Thank you as well for all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, have a great day. Thank you.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.